recovered a photo from my phone's trash bin, a picture I'd taken of Liam's cancer diagnosis report. Actually, you're the one with cancer, not me. Liam and Brenda snatched my phone, their expressions instantly changing. How is that possible? Liam's fingers trembled as he stared at the photo. On my phone, the diagnosis report with his name, his birth date, the clear wording of mid-stage stomach cancer, was impossible to deny. Brenda, who had been sneering a second earlier, let out a gasp that sounded like a strangled cough. Her face drained of color, her hands flying to her mouth, as if she could hold back the truth with her palms. This is a fake. Liam stammered, shoving my phone back at me. His voice cracked, the earlier coldness replaced by raw panic. You photoshopped it. You're just trying to get back at me for breaking the engagement. Sterling, the attorney, adjusted his glasses, leaning in to glance at the screen. His professional demeanor flickered. For a split second, he looked as stunned as the Hasses. He quickly recovered, clearing his throat. My fabricating medical records is a serious offense. If this is a forgery, my clients have grounds to press charges. I laughed, a sharp hollow sound that echoed in the living room. Forgery? Ask your clients about the health checkup we did together 2 weeks ago. Ask them about the mix-up with our phone numbers. 1 digit off. Remember, the clinic even apologized to me in person when they realized they'd sent the reports to the wrong people. I turned to Liam, my voice steady but sharp. You never even checked your own messages that day. Did you saw my screenshot of my diagnosis and immediately assumed the worst? You assumed I was the one dying and that you needed to cut ties before I dried you down. You didn't even think to verify. You didn't even care. Brenda finally found her voice, though it came out as a shrill. No, this can't be right. The clinic would have called us. They would have told us if Liam was sick. They tried. I said they called the number. Liam gave them my number. I told them I passed the message along. I was going to tell you, Liam. I was going to take you to the best specialists for every treatment. But then you showed up at my door with your family, calling me a cancer hag, demanding I return every penny, every gift, and I thought, why bother? Liam took a step back, his hands clutching at his stomach, as if he could physically hold back the news. I don't believe you. I feel fine. I've never felt better. This is a lie. Feel fine? My mom spoke up, her voice tight with anger. My brother had stomach cancer. He felt fine too, until it was stage 4. The doctor said mid-stage is treatable, Liam, but only if you get help now. My dad crossed his arms, his gaze hard. We had our lawyers reach out to the clinic this morning. They confirmed everything. The report is real. Your cancer is real. Sterling's face had turned a shade of gray. He flipped through the stack of papers in his hands, the ones listing Liam's expenses for takeout and ginger tea, like they might magically turn into a cure. Mr. Hayes, he said quietly, we need to discuss this privately. Brenda rounded on him, her panic turning to fury. Discuss what? This is a trick. She's lying. My son isn't sick. She is. She's the one who's going to die and not him. She pointed a shaking finger at me. You did this, so you curse him. You're jealous because he's moving on. So you made up this cancer lie. I didn't bother responding. I just pulled up my laptop, opened the email from the clinic, and turned the screen toward them. Subject's line read, urgent correction to a Mr. Liam Hayes diagnosis report. The body confirmed the mix-up, apologized for the error, and begged Liam to contact them immediately to schedule a follow-up appointment. Liam's eyes fixed on the email. His shoulders slumped, like the weight of the truth had finally crushed him. He reached for the laptop, his fingers brushing the screen, as if he could make the words disappear. Why didn't you tell me sooner? He whispered, his voice breaking. I shrugged. Why didn't you ask when you showed up here screaming at me, calling me a jinx? Did you even give me a chance to explain? Or were you too busy counting how much money you could get back from me before Eddie? Brenda's rage melted into tears. She threw herself at Liam, clutching him to her chest. My baby, my poor baby. We'll fix this, okay? We'll go to the best doctors. We'll get you treatment. Money isn't a problem. Money isn't a problem. The words hung in the air, thick with irony. Just an hour earlier, they'd been demanding I pay back $50,000 for wasted youth. Now suddenly, they were willing to spend whatever it took to save Liam. Liam pushed her away, his face twisted with a mix of anger and despair. Money isn't a problem, Mom. You just spent the past week telling everyone how I dodged a bullet by breaking up with me. You were already arranging dates for me. You didn't care if I loved her. You only cared if she had money and wasn't sick. Brenda's sobs turned into sniffles. I was trying to protect you. I didn't want you to get stuck with a dying woman. Stuck? I laughed. You mean stuck with someone who would have stood by you even when you were sick? Someone who would have paid for your treatment? Who would have taken care of you? That's what you call stuck? Sterling cleared his throat, interrupting the argument. He looked at Liam, his expression grave. And Mr. Hayes, we need to prioritize your health. The civil claim, we can drop it right now. You need to contact the clinic, schedule an appointment, and start treatment as soon as possible. Liam nodded, his hand still shaking, pulled out his phone, his fingers fumbling as he dialed the clinic's number. The room fell silent, save for the sound of his ragged breathing and the distant ring of the phone. Brenda turned to me, her eyes red and puffy. For a second I thought she might apologize, but instead she said, you have to help us, Clara. You have money. You can pay for Liam's treatment. It's the least you can do. After all, you kept this from us for days. If you told us sooner, we could have started treatment already. I stared at her, stunned by her audacity. The least I can do? You call me a cancer hack. You demanded I return every gift, every penny. You laughed at me when you thought I was dying. Now you want me to pay for your son's treatment. My dad stepped forward, placing a hand on my shoulder. Clara, don't let them handle it. They made their choice when they turned their backs on you. But Liam had finished his call. He hung up, his face pale. The clinic said. They said I need to come in tomorrow for more tests. They want to confirm the stage. Talk about targeted therapy. It's expensive, really expensive. He looked at me, his eyes filled with a desperate hope. Clara, I know I messed up. I know I was terrible to you, but please help me. I don't want to die. I thought about the nights he brought me ginger tea, the way he'd held me when I was stressed about work, the promises he'd made to love me forever. And then I thought about the way he looked at me when he broke the engagement, cold, unfeeling, like I was a stranger, the way he let his mom call me names games. Let his relatives laugh at me. I shook my head. I'm sorry, Liam, but I can't help you. You made it clear that you only care about yourself. You didn't want me when you thought I was sick. Why would I want to help you now that you are? Brenda screamed, you heartless bitch. You'll regret this when Liam dies. It'll be your fault. I ignored her. I turned to my lawyers. Can we finish this? I want them out of my house. Sterling nodded, gathering his papers, and Mr. Hayes, Mrs. Hayes, we need to leave. We can discuss next steps tomorrow. After your appointment. Liam and Brenda didn't argue. I stumbled toward the door. Liam still clutching his stomach. Brenda muttering about curses and heartless women. As I left, Liam looked back at me, his eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry, Clara, I really am. I didn't respond. I just closed the door behind them. After they were gone, my parents pulled me into a hug. Are you okay? My mom asked, brushing my hair back from my face. That was a lot. I nodded, though my chest felt tight. I'm fine, I can't believe he was capable of that. Of being so cruel. My dad sighed. People show their true colors when they're scared. He was scared of getting stuck with his sick wife, so he ran. Now he's scared of dying, so he's begging for help. It's sad, but it's not your problem. For the next few days, I tried to put Liam out of my mind. I went back to work, spent time with friends focused on my health, but I couldn't stop thinking about his diagnosis. The doctor had said mid-stage stomach cancer was treatable if he got help, but would he? Brenda had always been cheap, always worry about money. Would she really spend thousands on treatment, or would she try to find a cheaper option? That wouldn't work.